the weekend, tonight, with a game that I can make a case is the most important that has been played in the NFL so far this season. Lions and Packers. Let me show you some numbers. The Lions have been the front runners in the NFC basically from the jump. Right now, our analytics say they have a 67% chance to be the 1 seed in the NFC. But look what happens. If they win tonight against Green Bay, that number jumps to 79% and would go even higher should the Eagles lose this weekend. However, if the Lions lose tonight, it changes everything. Look at these numbers. A Lions loss and a Philly win, and the Eagles play Carolina, so you'd expect them to win, would actually leave the Eagles in first place in the conference based off tiebreakers. And there's more. Detroit needs to bank wins. They have the third hardest remaining schedule. They have Buffalo and Minnesota still on their schedule. The Eagles have the fifth easiest remaining schedule. So all of these, you put them all together in a little pot and you cook them up and you create a stew. And Dan, they suggest to me that tonight is a must-win for the Lions. If I said that to you, what would you say?
It's a must-win for the Packers. I know the Lions are great. I think the Packers can be great. We haven't seen that the Packers can get to the Lions level. The Lions are the kings of the NFC, right along with Philadelphia. There's a tier below. Green Bay's in that tier. Show us you belong. You were the Cinderella, the darling. Everybody picked you to win the Super Bowl in the offseason. Jordan Love was going to win the MVP. Here's your situation. Here's your opportunity to go prove it. Matt LaFleur, their head coach, is one of those coaches that probably can go head-to-head with Dan Campbell as far as the way that he controls his team, leads his team, gets his team ready to play, the schematics of it all. Here's the opportunity for you to go do that. I think Green Bay has to prove that they're just as good as the Detroit Lions.
Harry.
I agree 100% with D.O. Also, when you look at Green Bay, they've already lost to the Detroit Lions in their own division. They've already lost to the Minnesota Vikings in their division. They've already lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC. So the three teams that are ahead of Green Bay right now, they're 0-3 against. Also, in those three matchups, Jordan Love has thrown 5 interceptions. But we judge quarterbacks off of what? December, January, February football. And that's when Jordan Love has to show up his best. And that's where we've seen him show up at his best last season in 2023. So that's why they pay him, 4 years, $220 million, which is $55 million per year. For these moments, these games like tonight in your own division versus the best team in the NFL.
So let me make sure I'm clear on what you're saying, because I like what you're saying. You're saying this game tonight is why they paid Jordan Love all that money. To be the quarterback that they believe they were getting, he needs a big game tonight.
100%.
Okay, I like that thinking. And there's another reason why he might have a little bit of an edge. And Mr. Schefter is here with that. And we have a full screen to demonstrate it. Shefty, the Lions defense, I don't know if people are paying quite enough attention to just how banged up they are.
They are leaking oil right now. And they have, by far, the most and highest number of injured players across the league. Take a look at all the defensive players on IR. To put this in perspective, Greeny, there is not a team in the league right now with more than 7 defensive players on injured reserve. Detroit has 13. There is the list. You can only lose so many defensive players before it begins to impact your team. Within the last week, the Lions signed veteran linebacker Quan Alexander off the Broncos practice squad. They signed Jamal Adams, your former safety in New York, off the street. They're bringing in people from practice squads and street free agents to try to help save this season. The last time the Detroit Lions hosted a championship game, December 29th, 1957. And if they want to host another championship game, they're going to have to find a way to win tonight. And they're going to have to find a way to win next week when they play the Buffalo Bills. So it's the Packers one week, it's the Bills the next week, and the Eagles are sitting back in Philadelphia getting ready to host the Carolina Panthers, and they're saying, have fun, Detroit, because we're waiting to take that championship game.
Real quick, before you jump in, because I wanted to ask Shefty, can you guys put that, are any of those guys expected back at the before the end of the season? I just wanted to see any names.
I think the key players are expected back in the postseason. Like Alex Anzalone should be back for the postseason.
What about Barnes?
We'll see about that. Davenport out for the year. Hutchinson, maybe the Super Bowl, right? Malcolm Rodriguez done for the year. He was the leading tackler. Like, those are some key players. that are done for the season.
J-Mac, can they overcome that?
I believe so. You look at the way Aaron Glenn calls these games, and he's an aggressive play caller. They're still playing man-to-man. You watch them against the Bears. They're still attacking. They're still blitzing. They're still doing those things. I don't think that's going to change. And, Dan, to your point, you talked about kings of the NFC, and you talked about the Eagles, and you're talking about the Lions. The Packers have something to prove, but for the Lions, there can only be one king. So for them, you're looking at this situation like, the hell with what Green Bay has going on and who they've lost to and all of that. We have to continue to be the number one seed, and it starts tonight. And this is against the Bears a week ago where Aaron Glenn, we talked about injuries in that game and different things. There's opportunities within that defense, but they're not going to change because they've had injuries.
See, that's why I do believe that Green Bay is a good matchup versus Detroit in favor of Green Bay. Green Bay is the San Francisco 49ers of the Midwest. Okay? They have all these different pieces. J-Mac talks about man coverage. Offensively, when you're playing against a team that plays a ton of man coverage, I want people. I don't want just a singular person.
That's right.
So I want 5, 6 different options for me to take advantage of. They've got positionless players, tight ends that you can throw the screen to down in the red zone. They got one-on-one opportunity guys that I could take advantage of with a third corner. Jaden Reed is their Deebo Samuel. He's one of the most versatile players in the NFL. They got players like